Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the White Rock story. And thanks for the introduction, Liam, and thanks to ResourceStocks for this opportunity. I think photos tell you a lot. We have two projects which I'll touch on. That photo is our gold and silver project in northern New South Wales, so just inland from Byron Bay. And I think, not many projects you can walk onto ore, which you do in this case, pre-stripped with infrastructure. And as you heard from Barry Dawes, amongst others, in this very strong gold and potentially silver environment, we think that this project is now ready to have its day, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. You can read that at your leisure. You'll find this presentation on our website, and I have a booth just out the back on the right-hand side if you want to come and see me afterwards. ASX listed two projects, so our Mount Carrington project in northern New South Wales that I just touched on, and a pretty exciting Red Mountain high-grade zinc and precious metals project in Alaska. And I'm not the last one that'll tell you that I believe we've got a pretty good board and management team. So Carrington, as you saw, you walk onto ore, it's supported by 100,000 metres of drilling. We've got a feasibility study done, it's on mining lease, it's got an existing tails dam, it's got power to site. Past mining, forestry land, so all very important. Gold first, silver second, and a large 180 square kilometre exploration tenement package to keep going on the upside there. And then Central Alaska, we acquired this project in 2016, so before the market darling Northern Star moved into that part of the world. We got on the ground ourselves last year. That attracted the interest of Sandfire Resources. So a $1 billion company did their own due diligence, like what they saw. They're now a 12% larger shareholder with an earning joint venture where they've got to spend $20 million to earn 51% of that asset. If they spend $19 million, they get zero. So that's in a nutshell. Our capital structure, we've got a few shares on issue. Nice amount of money in the bank, and an interesting register. Sandfire, as I mentioned, 3 high net worths. We do need, when you're a small junior, a retail component. But we've also got a $1 billion private equity group in Cartesian out of New York, and we've also got the very large Zijin Sprott Asset Management out of Hong Kong. So for a small junior, it's a good mix of institutional fund and retail, and share price that's been relatively steady. So why would I invest, or I would like you to consider these points? Obviously you need to make your own financial decisions, but certainly come and talk to me afterwards. So it's a brownfields development, gold and silver with exploration upside. There aren't many projects in Australia with genuine exposure to silver. We could actually mine silver first. It's in separate deposits to the gold, but we will be starting with the gold because that's the easiest in this current environment to doré and sell it to the Perth Mint. And that pit that was pre-stripped that I showed you at the beginning is our gold pit. But we've also got Red Mountain. It's a VMS, so it's a volcanogenic massive sulphide, so it's polymetallic. So it's strong in zinc, silver, lead, gold. They're all in commercially recoverable quantities. And as I mentioned, we attracted the interest of Sandfire with our large tenement package and the high-grade JORC resource that we've already got. So exploration upside at Mount Carrington with 180 square kilometres of tenement package. We've got 475 square kilometres of tenement under our management in Alaska, and both of those can provide the news flow that I think is important when you're a small junior as well. And I think an important consideration for an investor is the jurisdiction that you're in. I'm not sure that many probably give enough thought to where the assets are. Mining's hard enough, there are enough risks already, without going, I think, too far afield. Australia is a great place to do business and there's more to be found. And certainly Alaska, yes, it's on the other side of the world, but highly prospective and underexplored. And first world jurisdiction, they speak English just, and it's not Canada, it's the US, which is actually quite an important differentiation. Mount Carrington, when we did the feasibility study in 2017, we used 1,700 Australian gold price. Still quite reasonable financial metrics for a small project. But you use any number north of 2,000 Aussie in this current price, and you can see significant free cash generated, almost $100 million in just its first 4 years before any silver is added, and a payback under a year with a rate of return, that's going to be nudging 100%. Now, they're pretty significant. Okay, it's small. It's a 35,000 ounce per annum. But as a mining engineer, I'll do quality over quantity any day. I'm happy to make 100% margin on my ounces rather than try and mine 100,000 ounces and go bust with a huge capital burden in front of me, the environmental footprint and all of the costs that are driven by that tonnage. So a good, honest, solid revenue making project. There's a few pictures. So a couple of hours inland from Byron Bay. Photo on the left, you walk onto ore. It's got a tailings dam as well. Again, photo on the right. So past mining, very important. If it hadn't had the past mining, if that infrastructure wasn't there, being in northern New South Wales, it might be a different proposition. It's an approvals process, 12 to 18 months. If you do it with respect, it'll be a project of state significance. We see no reason why it can't get permitted. New South Wales doesn't have the best reputation in that space, but I'd encourage people to just break that down as to why that perception is there. I mean, I've built mines in Tassie, which is very green, and also run a mine in Victoria, which is quite green. So it can be done. You just need to do it with patience and respect to the process. So feasibility study done, good financial metrics, permitting is our next step to go. We're unusual. We have a potential for a gold prepaid facility through one of our major shareholders that, subject to certain CPs, could fund 70% of the construction. There aren't any other juniors on the ASX that I know of that, even before they've got full permitting and a DFS done, has the potential to fund 70% of its construction, which I think is an important component and a good indication of the robustness. So Cartesian did their own due diligence again. They spent a week on site. I spent 2 days arm wrestling the agreement in New York. So again, it's not just me and what I say. We've got Sandfire that have done their own work and put money into the company. We've got Cartesian. If you've ever dealt with a private equity group, they don't throw their money around lightly. They've also done their own homework. So quickly on to Red Mountain, joint venture earning, 4 stages. Sandfire, $1 billion listed, very successful. Need to spend $20 million over 4 years to earn 51%. If they just spend $19 million, they get 0. They're required to spend a minimum of 6 this year. We're still drilling on site as we speak, so there is a drill and use flow occurring. We'll spend $8 million. We manage it, White Rock manages it. So as I said to someone, drilling holes in someone else's country, using someone else's money, on an asset that's 100% ours, and where we get a 10% management fee, I think it's a pretty good deal. They can move to 70% by spending another $10 million. They could move to 80 and they could move to 90. So in essence, we could be fully funded all the way through. Where are we with Central Alaska? Anyone knows Central Alaska? So we're due east of the Denali National Park. If anyone's been to Mount McKinley, we're due south of Fairbanks, a half-hour chopper ride or plane ride. Pogo to our northeast. Most people would have heard of Fort Knox, a famous gold mine. And there are many other tier 1 either projects or mines in Alaska, including the world's largest zinc mine owned by Teck called Red Dog. So great prospectivity. Coming back to the exploration upside, I'll move fairly quickly through. There's a hard copy of this that you can pick up at my booth as well if you like. But just to try and give you a sense that we've got a lot of exploration upside both in New South Wales. We've got gold resources that aren't in our mine plan. We've got silver resources that aren't in our mine plan. So those financial metrics are just 2 of the gold resources, with 2 other gold resources in JORC still there, and about 4 silver resources that also aren't there. And outside of that, there's exploration upside that's not even in resource yet. In Alaska, we've got now 475 square kilometres. We picked it up with that bottom right-hand corner, that black outline. It came with 127 drill hole database. We obtained the public domain geophysics and geochem information, found 30 similar targets to the 2 known deposits, expanded it in that picture to 140 square Ks, and last year out to 475 square Ks. VMSs come in camps, come in clusters. So where you find one, The geology tells you that you're more than likely to find more. We've already got 3 lenses in these 2 known deposits, and as I said, targets to test. Historically, was owned and drilled in the 1990s by a TSX-listed company. They did the drilling 30, 40 metres wide, drilling 10, 20% zinc, some of the intersections, along with a lot of silver as well. We did our own drilling, so that photo on the bottom right, the geologists were very imaginative. That mountain on the right that's red is called Red Mountain. The creek, the deposit's called Dry Creek. Again, very imaginative geologists. The other deposit that makes up our resource is called WTF, and I'm not kidding you, and I'll tell you about that story later. Some of our own drilling, 4 and 5 metres wide at almost 50% zinc equivalent. Our first year on the ground, I don't think many juniors would get that sort of result. Very, very happy with that. We come back to Mount Carrington. So DFS, permitting, production, Red Mountain, exploration. Mount Carrington, so feasibility, we've got a PFS already, so complete that to DFS. Permitting, 12 to 18 months. Construction, 12 to 18 months. So bullion production, 2 to 3 years from now, along with that silver work and that exploration upside that I mentioned. The board, 2 of us are mining engineers. Some people might know Peter Lester. He was Oxiana. He was chairman of Kidman, chairman of Dore. Myself, more an operations type guy, but have been an MD on 2 other occasions. Jeremy, based in London, he's actually Tasmanian, but I will be gentle on Tasmanians because I married one as well. Goro's more an M&A guy, and Rowan's our exploration. Very small team. Our humble office is in Ballarat. We contract out our CFO and our accounts, so you can get pretty small G&A overhead. Capital raising. As of today, this morning, we announced a capital raising. It's a rights issue to raise $5 million in this current very strong gold and silver price environment. We believe now is the right time to move Mount Carrington forward. It's at a significant discount to our 1-day, 15-day and 30-day trading. It's a rights issue. That rights issue ex-date is next week. So there is an opportunity for anyone in this room that's interested in getting involved in this to become a shareholder between now and then. Now, you need to seek your own financial advice. I will give you that. But I think there's a great opportunity there. As I said, we've got a gold and silver project in New South Wales. And if you like, we've got the free stake knives in the Red Mountain high-grade zinc and precious metals project in Alaska, where we're spending Sandfire's money. So I encourage you, if you like, get on board. Happy to have a chat afterwards. Not just me, so there's some independent research out there. So Fundamental Research is Canada's largest independent research company. They've valued our 2 assets. You can see the numbers there. Baillieu's, very well-known broking house out of Melbourne, Warren Edney for those that know, have also done their own work, looking at the valuations, either the MPV or comparable transactions, how much did similar projects sell for. And you can see the sort of price range. Or look at it another way. Sandfire is spending $20 million for 51%. That puts our Red Mountain asset at around $30, $40 million. What's our market cap? 11 million. So is that an investment opportunity? There is a gap between our market cap and other people's view on our asset valuation. I'm not the last one that'll ever say that we're undervalued, but there must be some opportunity in there somewhere. If this is of interest to you, please come and see me afterwards. I'm at booth 5 just out the door here. Thanks.